we're going to see if it's going to start working now. You know, I used to have a thing here. I'm not sure whether I've got it anymore, but I used to have like a thing. How it worked was like I'd have all these transitions and all of this nonsense, and like I had this big flaming eye and all of this sort of crazy stuff. But now I'm like, how do Twitch?
Yes. How to Twitch. Yeah, and then don't know thing or not.
No, as in like the thing Twitch.
Yeah, I know what you're talking. The play.
All right. Well, should we get started?
Just 1 minute.
1 minute.
1 minute.
One whole minute.
Yes.
Okay. Right.
Okay, now we start.
Now we start.
No.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Cal.
And I'm Sun.
And welcome to the Weekly WAYPN, aka
Henry and Sangita.
Alright, so first off, we have Alan O'Brien.
Henry and Sunny asked about this during the weekly review. How do you get transitions, highlights, and shading with freehand detail? This is how. I also use this technique for tattoos or models. Number 1, paint your surface with layering, shading, etc. that you would normally do. However, consider going a little bit lighter with your highlights and midtones than you. Number 2, paint your design. Apply a filter to help smooth transition and unite the original surface and design, and to shift the hue to what you want in the final version. For example, for Splinter, everything was done in purple, and then these steps I toned with a dark red to get closer to the classic, I think he meant to say classic Splinter clothing color. Number 4, repeat if needed. Number 5, repeat if needed. Number 6, when you are happy, apply some colored glazes to the shadow areas. The color you chose depends on what you are trying to achieve. Number 7, repeat as needed. 8, you're done. The trick, as you can see, is that you really don't do any of the highlights after you paint the design. You do it before, then you add shading over top of the design in the recess area to help solve.
Okay, so basically just glaze a hell of a lot from what I'm saying.
Yep. Just to be that way.
Fair enough. And if you're in the chat, feel free to talk to us. All right, so next up we've got Sebastian
Sanabria J. Pang.
Okay, yes. I could not do the other name.
Oh.
The Sanabria.
Oh, okay.
I was like, how does?
Yes. And I really like this one. Painting a little head for the lion, 1 of 4. This project has been so much fun. I think it looks just like the box art.
I think it looks amazing. I think it's like some of the best I've seen. I do think that the hair's a little yellow, you know, rather than like more the bleach blonde.
Is it meant to be bleach blonde? I kind of like this.
You like the yellow?
I think because it gives it a bit of warmth.
Yeah, I guess.
And in my computer, I can really see that nice little red flush in the nose and in the cheeks. Makes him look less, I wouldn't say less serious, but I suppose less cold for a lot of lack of wording.
Yeah, no, I follow what you're saying. I think it looks good. Like, there's nothing where I go, well, that definitely needs to be fixed. Like and like the yellow, as we can tell from our discussion right now, is just a taste thing. Because I just feel like it's a bit too stark compared to
I can see what you mean from your computer screen, but in my computer screen, it does look quite uniform. Nice. Do you see it?
Well, like, I think it might also be if, like, you zoom in like I am right now,
Yeah.
it might be a bit different.
I don't want to go different places because plays
Yes,
fun
yeah.
and
Well,
games.
like we all know about the fun and games from things. But
Ooh.
next up,
We
we
got
have
Mr. Reina. And he says, break from 300 mm to go back to some 54 mm. This is Cat Daddy from Shoshi's Magnificent Mini Painting.
so you know the Inquisitor models that I have.
Yeah.
This is a similar sort of size to the Inquisitor models. When he says 54mm,
Right,
you can just
okay.
get so much more detail in on those sizes.
Yeah, I mean, bigger is easier, in generally speaking.
Yeah, but I think like 54mm is probably like where I'd be happiest painting for detail,
Yeah.
because like it's it's that right mix between where like you have to go super detailed and where you have to like be super careful because like it won't read properly.
Because I think with larger surface areas, it's easier for like mistakes to show up or like any streaky paint jobs
Mm,
show, which is difficult in that sense.
mm.
But it also allows you, like you said, to be more liberal with details, and you don't feel that, what is the term? What the depreciation? Was it the diminishing returns of the miniature models
Mhm.
as much at that scale, because you can really work at the details and you know that it'll show through and people will notice it, as compared to maybe some 32 models. You can really put a lot of effort into the skin work, and then you're just like, it just looks like 3 layers of color.
Uh, I'm not sure how to say this name.
Skeeter, it's
Skeeter.
oh, who is this? Mr. Justine
Ah,
Case.
oh, okay, yeah, no,
Justin
because
Case.
when I heard, I'm like, morning sounds good to me. I'm like, yes, I guess it would be. But then the second one, quote of the day, bigger is easier. Sorry, my mind. All right, so next up we've got Alex. I
Alex.
will not attempt to pronounce this name.
Oh yes. I also do not know how to pronounce the special O.
Yeah.
So we'll say, okay, so Mr. Alex say, my sisters and I have been working on done painted, doing everything I can to get better.
Yes, English. But like, okay, so
I believe he's trying to get better with his
his sister.
Sisters of Battle.
So I think what he's done really well is that half and half paint job. But like, I know it's a choice to do the white hair, but it has to be so much more grey because like it's so bright. Like,
Yeah, and
it might be
looks,
the lighting. Like I'm going
it
to
is
be
a bit
totally,
overexposed, yeah.
yeah, I'm going to be totally fair, and it could be like very very much the lighting with these ones.
Mm-mm.
But the other thing is, and I'm going to zoom into the sword so because I know that it'll be a bit cut off. But so this sword over here, right? I think like he's going for that lava effect, right?
Yeah.
But he doesn't have enough red to sort of pull it off.
Yeah.
Like I think the way that he's doing the black, has come through. But I think that like there's not enough red in it to like really sell that lava effect, if that makes sense.
I understand, because usually with lava effects, the very edge of the sword is quite dark with the red, and then it's very bright only in the middle, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think is that the peripheral person trying to get on, or
Hopefully. Anyway, I was just agreeing with, okay, there is a little bit of a bit of 50-50 when you come to talking about taking the photograph for this, right?
mm-hmm.
The white, unfortunately, always has issues with the camera balancing out the white balance.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
if
yeah,
you
yeah.
see the turquoise bits, they come through nicely. It could perhaps lower the brightness even more with the photograph, but I do think that at this point, judging right off the bat, the hair looks exactly like the white
wa-
parts of the armor,
Yeah.
which is a bit weird. It's like you did
It
just.
doesn't feel organic.
It
is
doesn't
the
feel organic.
difference.
You're right. You're right.
And I think that's the main issue. Like, for example, take a look at the helmet right over here. You don't have that same feeling which you do with this. You're like, it feels overexposed. So I think he needs to do two things. One, he needs to take photos in like a light box, especially when you're doing this level of white, right?
And it can't be against like a high contrast background, like for example black with the white, because that'll increase the contrast.
Yeah, so it's got to be more like our one where it's a grey.
Yeah, like a even a just a flat mid gray would be good. You don't even need
That's
to go.
Why I said like how.
No, ours is not a flat mid gray. Ours is
like
closer to that color.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is.
No, it is
yes,
not.
it is. It's a charcoal black color. It
is not a charcoal black color.
You will look at it and you'll see.
All right, here. All right, tell us, people. This charcoal black.
Yeah, honey, look. Look at it right next to the. You have the curtain to compare. That is not a mid gray.
It's not a mid gray. It's a dark gray.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He needs to take it with a mid gray background.
Okay, yeah, but I think that gray is fine.
I find that when I problem with our one.
Okay.
Just yeah.
All right.
Look at your face.
No one can look at my face. Why do you keep referencing such things?
I can see your face.
All right, but anyway, so what I think he's done well is the turquoise has come up well, but I think just highlights and such, right? Like, it's highlights, it's just too bright, too fast.
I do see that he's put a bit of a wash over the white chest of the armor.
I'm not sure on that.
Did you see this one? Like, you can see the recess shading is quite obvious there.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm wondering maybe he might have put an overall wash on the rest of the white parts of the armor, but
I don't know. So it could be exposure. So I think taking some better pictures would really help because, like, I take a look. I'm just going to open up this one again. And, like, it looks very much the same from each angle with the...
Yeah, okay, I see what...
Oh, do they have 50-50 hair as well?
Oh, seems that they have gone 50-50.
I'm not sure.
No, yeah, you're right, it is. The other side's black.
I think if he's going to do that, he's got to reverse the order of the 50-50 black.
Yeah.
You know, that way they'll look better. But I think pictures
improvement, I think, would be the best. But I do think that detail-wise, like, everything's picked out quite nicely.
All right, but yeah, so we shall move on.
Yes.
All right, so next up was the Member Monday.
Member Monday.
Member Monday. And once again, what I was really proud of was seeing last week when we were just going through some of the stuff and there was people asking questions and like the rest of the community had gotten to it because I can actually only do Facebook while I'm here on this laptop.
Yeah.
So that is another part of it. And so it was really nice to see the, community respond. So, Skeeter said that the hair could be a darker grey maybe, but he likes the molten sword. But yeah, so let us move on. So next up we have Lance Davenport.
Time to call this fella done.
Well, I think once again, like, I feel like some people have certain strengths which they need to work on every time. So I do like the colours. It's very nice and natural. But once again, so he's just put him on one of those disc bases, right? But just add some sand before you do the...
Yeah, so that it just sort of evens out the leveling between things that are on two different depths.
Planes,
depth or plane. Because you have the path, the stone path that's clearly thicker than and raised. So if you have a little bit of sand, that helps to even things out and look
Yeah.
less unnatural.
And
And
then
then you
when
just
you,
put the flock over top.
yeah, and that's like fine. Like that's all that's really needed here because
Yeah.
he's going for tabletop. I think it's come up quite nicely, and I don't actually mind the aquarium plants. I've seen a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll airbrush the aquarium plants so that they come up a lot more nicely.
Natural, yeah.
Yeah.
I quite like it because like when you take a look at all the different angles in the photos, it's nice. It adds like it's almost like a mini photo background booth that is got going on.
I don't know. I'd still like to see an actual photo booth because like really with the amount of stuff that he does, it really
Yeah,
help.
that's true. But yeah, I think for just the basing, because you've gone to the
Mm,
trouble to at least do something
mm,
for the
mm, mm.
basing, it wouldn't hurt to just take that extra step and add a bit of a
Well,
filler.
like here's what I've been doing. Like for example, we're gonna see my ones a little later on. I just put down some sand with some PVA, right? And like I just do two passes. I put down the PVA, put it in like the mid sand, and then like my mid slash fine sand, to get through the cracks, right? So that it's completely filled up. Right, once that's dried, I just put on some contrast paint and I just like touch the base with
Mm.
it, just let it flow out and just done. Like that's all you'd have to do.
Mm.
I'm not saying like go to the max because I think it's silly to push beyond tabletop if you're going for tabletop,
Mm.
if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Alright, so next up we've got Carlos.
Carlos. Oh, when I saw this, I was so excited. Anyway, I will get to that. Halfway there, another mini on the works. This kind of reminds me of Saruman the White. I'll be focusing on the cape, gold details of the robe, crystal on the staff, and the book.
So I think like the blues come up so
Yeah,
nice.
it
It's like
seems.
a nice enchanted blue, like
Yeah.
yeah, like very. It's
High saturated.
yeah,
Sky blue color.
yeah, sky blue. But like I'd say it's more mid tone than sky because sky is very bright. Like this is too too dark for sky. If you
Well,
know what
on
I
a
mean.
very sunny day without a cloudless sky, it can get deep in the blue.
Hmm.
But when I see the little hints of blue shadowing even in the beard area and the eyes, it really looks like, I mentioned this before to you, like a game illustration, but
I
made
think
into
I
a
think
model.
I think it looks more like that comic book style game illustration.
Mm.
So like not like because a lot of game illustrations, like for example, we've got our game illustrations.
Yes.
You searched up Spyro. Yeah, no,
Yes,
like that's
like this kind of
yeah,
colors.
like that's what I would say. Comic book style gamer. It
Yeah.
does look really nice. I really like the way that he's done the eyes. The eyes have come out really nicely. It's obviously a work in progress by the colors he's chosen, right? Because he said this is the gold, and I'm like,
Yeah, it's a
just,
base, but it's a really good base. The
yeah.
gold.
But we'll see how it comes along. And I think as far as bases go, that's fantastic.
And for me, like just looking at the how it's looking, it wouldn't be too bad to leave the book Zenithal primed, just because it
Mm,
looked like a stone book. It's so like interesting. I mean,
yeah,
that's just me. Of course, you can go ahead and do your original plan, but when I look at it, I was just like, ooh, reading from a stone book, very magical. But yes, let us move along.
I just feel like it would break it. But we had a lot of fun making this one for
Oh, we did.
once.
We did have.
Because
Yeah.
I feel like the design versus lore can be a bit more intense with our videos
Mm.
compared to average.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I think that's the reason it went so long. But
I did enjoy
yeah,
editing this one. I thought I would be quite stressed out doing a 40-minute video, but I think because a lot of things like you're talking about the same image for 3 minutes,
Yeah.
it lessens the burden on me because you just keep that one picture for like 3 minutes and
Well, you
sort
do
of thing.
lots of things where you like zoom in onto
Yeah,
certain aspects and that sort of
because
thing.
yeah,
It is definitely not the average YouTube of here is a static image that we're going to slowly pan
pan
across.
across. Yeah, you see that with lots of people, lore channels especially.
Yeah.
Some that are really bad is just one picture for the whole 1 hour of
Yeah.
reading. But understandably, they are mostly listening in the background and maybe understand that and they don't care too much.
Yeah.
But
We'll see, like, that's not the focus, whereas ours is actually a focus on, hobby and stuff. But let us move on.
Mr. Alex Co, and he says, update on my squig boy. Gonna be starting on the teeth and horns soon. At first, okay, like obviously the teeth are very obvious, right? Because they're big, they're in your face. But because it's so dark, I didn't register it in my mind. And it looked like a gummy guy, a gummy squig boy. And I'm like, oh, wait, he has teeth, just hasn't done them yet.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised how well the skins come out. Because, like, when you're zoomed in on this level, right, it's so obvious, the patterning and that sort of thing, the way it's done. Like, I'm not saying it's bad, I'm saying it's obvious when you're zoomed in. But once you're, like, zoomed out, like, take a look at it when it's, like, this size, you're like, oh my God. And, like, you got to remember that this thing is much smaller than this image. Unless somebody's looking at this on a phone, it's not going to be that big.
What's a squig about this big, yeah?
So it depends on whether it's a squig or a squigoth. And I think he said it's squig. So squigs are about the size of an orc.
Still large, isn't it? Like GW orcs are still fairly
Well,
large.
you've seen like I've got the Blood Bowl coach who's holding a squig, and he's yelling and like no, I guess it's like slightly bigger than a goblin.
I feel like this squig is specifically like one of those, not say monster size, but you know how people make models specifically like monsters, and it is just like a standalone squig that's just enlarged for the purpose of display.
I'm not sure. Well, we will see the size of it. Alex,
Give comparison.
yes, show comparison. But like, even like, look at the way that he's dotted the tongue and
That's
such.
first thing I noticed was that, and then after that, the very nice stippling of the skin to create the leathery texture.
Yeah, no, that's what I was talking about
Yeah.
before. Just like,
And then the nice sort of cross hatching shading, the gums and the inner mouth, the inner cheek. Oh, I just love that.
yeah, I think that looks really good. But I'm not sure what's going on right here. If this is deliberate or if this is like,
This looks like this part a little.
maybe
It should, yeah, maybe a bit too bright with the highlight on that.
Because like it's very dark in there and then very bright. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see where he goes with it because he's been working on it for a while now.
Then we have Mr. Jason Tate.
Yes, Mr. Jason Tate.
And he's got a whip Wednesday.
A whip Wednesday.
Finally taking the plunge with our Wildercore hunters. Aiming for a decent tabletop standard with some of the more important minis getting closer treatment. Going for a dark gothic ? Style inspired by Brotherhood of the Wolf. Not necessarily the costuming, rather the tone of the movie. I'm trying to avoid a mass of black and brown leather, instead wanting a splash of color to help identify them on
Did he say dark Brotherhood?
No, by Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Brotherhood of the Wolf. Brotherhood of the Wolf. Wolf with a D. All right. Oh!
It seems like a historical.
I don't know what it is, but yes, I see very much what he's going for now.
Is it a pirate movie? What is this?
I think that's Native American. I don't know what's going on here. Wolf defies labels. Okay. All right. Sure. I think, I can see it. I can see it.
Yep. Very, historical style.
Yeah.
Dark theme, noirish.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Because, like, I was looking at it and I'm like, what is a Dark Brotherhood of the Wolf?
Just the Brotherhood of the Wolf, honey. There's no dark in it.
Well, that's why I was like, because of the Gothic, I think I was like.
I was just like, what's the Dark Brotherhood?
Yes, I think, like, like, I was just looking at that. But I think once you've done up the skin, that will be the big difference here. Because, like, at the moment, they're all looking a bit rough. But, like, I think once the skin comes up, because often the skin's the thing that will make something, come along.
Isn't it something like how you say the faces and the bases? The skin is kind of like the faces of the model, like faces and aces. So
faces and bases make models look aces.
So, like, the skin is kind of the face as well, and then people pay attention to skin quite a fair bit.
And Chris says that's a lovely color for a squig. Yeah, I think all of it is really nice. There's nothing I look at it and I'm just like, oh, maybe. Well, like, there is those little nitpicky bits, but I think like they are looking for us to find those nitpicky bits so that they don't have to go back and work on things after that. So, Chris Lee is not Chris Richardson. Otherwise, if it was Chris Richardson, I'd have to yell at them.
Who's Chris Richardson?
They didn't make a post.
Oh, yeah. I see him now.
Yes.
He's in the comment section of this next person's post.
All right.
I don't know him.
Read this person.
No, you have to read your own post. That was the deal. Remember the rule of the game.
I'm actually coughing because I'm still getting over it, but I'm almost there. I'm almost better.
Almost.
It is Whip Wednesday. Sunny and I hope to show you some Valentine's Day models. But instead, spent most of our day cleaning, as Sunny had organized things. So my patented system of organized chaos made it so that they went missing due to her organization.
It's true.
Cursed.
It was my fault, yes.
But we ended up finding them. However, here is something I prepared earlier. There's something else I should have shown, but I have to wait for another day. They're only tabletop level. Sangeetha and I worked on them. She with the skin. I with everything else. Like my life. She works on prettying herself. I do all the work.
Isn't that true?
Anyway, they're just different angles, so they're not blurry. Alright, everyone. What are you painting now? Make a post about it. Not like Chris. Chris did not make a post. Instead, he fragrantly commented this post. Oh! How could he do such a thing? So,
yes.
Shall we take a look?
Yes. What do you say?
Chris said, loving the melodramatic voice.
Oh, God. He stole it from his usual reading of Joe R. Sutton Adventures. He's stolen it.
Nonsense! But anyway, so these are our Stargrave guys, and yeah, I feel like they've got like the trucker vibe. Like
Someone said that, didn't they? They said they give the space trucker vibes.
Yes, I think that was either it was either Joe or someone else.
It was Jason.
It was Jason.
Jason.
Jason. But yes. I'm really happy for them for like just tabletop level. But one of the
Mm-hmm.
things that I was most happy about is how this snow worked out,
Mm-hmm.
because the snow I was using was the AK interactive one, and it has a tendency to just stay on top. And what I wanted was like a sort of melted sort of snow.
Is it like frosty or something?
So like it's sort of it's been out for a while, like the sun's melted it
I
slightly.
see.
So like it's still snow, right? But it's not fully,
It's squidgy snow.
yeah. And so I just mixed some PVA with that snow, some watered down PVA, and I got that effect.
I am quite surprised with the choice of basing that you went for because I expected something more.
Futuristic?
Yeah, like.
Well, this was sort of a callback to Frostgrave. That's why I wanted the snow.
I see.
hmm And see, like, I figured some grass and some other stuff, like, this could be just about anywhere. Like, that could be in
Like
a
any
city
planet.
park, or
Yeah.
it could be, like out in the scrub. It could be just about anywhere. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Letting the side down, Chris. All right, so next up, we have.
uh, we have Sebastian Palomino. I hope I said it correctly.
Yeah.
Here is a Blood Angel aggressor. I just started and already want to mess it up with the NMM. Sorry.
Num.
The num.
Num. Well, I think like the hand is looking good. I think that yellow needs a bit of work. Obviously, this is just the start, but like I think if you manage to get all of your red looking like this, it's a bit pushed into the orange, but I think that's okay. I think there's nothing wrong with that. Like this looks very nice, but like that yellow is quite plasticky at the moment.
Yeah, I will say it does. Cheese that you like so much.
Yes.
Yeah, so perhaps a wee bit of this yellow mixed with white.
Oh, it just needs some shading.
Yeah,
and some
shading,
highlighting.
highlight. That's what I'm saying for like the highlight. And then for the shading, you could mix that same yellow with a brown or a orangey color and use that for the shadow.
Yeah.
And yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think like that's pretty much it. Like it's just starting. But I tell you what, look at how organized his background
Oh,
is.
it's beautiful. It's giving my tummy the tingles of organization.
Woman, hey, why would you do? All right, so would you like to read out for the Mr. Cal Benoni?
Mr. Cal, who is the second Cal of this Cal TV show.
Yes.
Efreet from Otherworld and a smoke elemental from Tim Prow.
So
these are such strange models.
Yeah, I feel like these could be very interesting models. Like the way that they're sculpted. This seems almost veiny, and like the way the smoke's done. I think like they just.
Which one's the smoke elemental? Is it really the skeleton guy?
So yeah, I do believe so, and that's the Efreet. But see, like I feel like the Efreet with the metallic effect just needs like something more than just the metal.
I kind of want to look up what an Efreet is. Oh, it's a D&D thing.
Well, technically, it's a Middle Eastern thing.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, there's a different renditions of this guy. Is it like a genie?
So Efreet is a fire demon, whereas a genie is an air demon.
So yeah, I think the fire demony part does not.
Yeah, and see, like I feel like that effect could be very cool if like all of this was like a fire, like say a deep orange into a yellow into a white,
and you could keep the demon looking very oily like that or something.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
And then like have the sword be a proper metal, but like I feel like with the rest of it, I know that there is such thing as yellow smoke, but I feel like if this smoke was more grey,
Yeah.
like it would have such a contrast. I know that's a color choice thing, but yeah,
I
that's
would agree with you on that.
yeah,
A bit more of traditional grayish white smoke sell it, I would
yeah,
say.
yeah, yeah.
But nice work on the fleshy bit and the bone, I would came out very
Mm.
nice.
And then we've got who is next,
Gabriel Gao.
and this unfortunate person. Do you know what they've done?
What?
This is not primed.
maybe he
No,
did everything and then he
no,
was
no. Read.
oh.
Read. I said, how is that hand attached? Because it's unpainted, right? And then
And then
he says, what does he say? Read it.
I'm just an animal that doesn't prime her minis. It's all attached with plastic glue.
And I think my response is appropriate.
Yes.
Just the what?
So apparently it's a lady, so her name is Gabrielle.
Yes.
I read it as Gabriel.
Doesn't matter. Does not matter. That the key detail here is that they're an animal.
Yes, they need to prime.
Please prime.
Prime carefully.
Please do not make me cry.
Because the rest
Like
of
you
him
could
is
hand
so well
prime,
done.
but just like
why has this happened?
oh yo.
She forgot.
Because like the yellow's coming up so nice,
Is
and I'm like looking at this, and I'm just like, you stuck these bolts on, but there is no. What?
How is this done? What has I do not know.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm sure she'll figure it out. Well,
Then
just
I sing some pop song. Was the sadness.
yes.
But yeah, no, like it is very distracting because I was like looking at the yellow and everything, and I'm like, oh, the purple. I see what you're doing. You're sort of going for a much more painterly style. You know, you very obvious brushstroke sort of thing, making sure that the shadows are quite stark. Blah 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 blah. You know.
Chris says not primed. No.
Yes, Chris. Yes, like that is how it feels. That is 100% how it feels. You're just like, what? No, stop.
It is a curious event that we are witnessing here. How does one do this? It's terrifying.
It is a curse.
I wonder how she's gonna prime these unprimed areas after doing all that work.
I know, it's all the work. I look at it and I'm like, oh yes, you could just spray it. No, you can't.
Well, Gabby, you're gonna have to tell us the next part of this scary movie tale.
All right. Time for reading.
It's Justine Gray. And he says, not much progress. A layer of armor highlight. 2 more to go. Some details started like the metallic work. Very basic coat so far. Lots of washes and glazing to do. We'll be doing a red Martian base to contrast nicely with the bone color. Okay, yes. Oh yeah, started the sword as well.
Yeah, he started the sword.
Whoa, that's just a start. Come on, Mr. Justin.
Yeah, no. So like I think the bones come up just like I'd say I'd almost say leave it right now. I know he wants to get it to a certain level and that sort of thing, but I feel like right now it's where it should be. Right? Like I feel like it feels right, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like maybe not from a technical point, like sure there might be some things that you whatever, but it just feels right at them. And I think like these are some of the best Deathwing Terminators I've seen in a long time, because I feel like a lot of the time they're so stark and they just don't feel quite right when I see them. Like they feel a little off, like either usually much too bright, whereas this feels like the right bone color.
Which is what Joseph said in his work in progress picture. He also said that, you know, this is the nice bone color that they're meant to be.
Mm-hmm. So,
won't be much more of a highlight, just very small edges, etc., and large panels. Okay.
But like, I feel like right now, it like I said, it feels right.
I
But
feel like I was gonna say, oh yeah, okay. So the previous guy that I thought was the monkey man, he looks more like the Space Marine.
oh, now that he's
Now
less
that,
orange.
yeah, like, cause I think it's because the mask was looking quite close to the skin
Oh,
color,
okay.
so I thought it was all the whole face. So now he looks more like
But-
mask and man.
Now it's time for you to move on and start reading.
Okay.
Yes.
It's Alexander. I can't say Alex because we have too many Alexes
Yes.
on here already.
It's Hodgerus Burger.
Honey, don't.
I don't know how to say it. No one knows how to say it. Every time I try and pronounce it, the furniture starts floating.
That's me trying. No, never mind. Okay. For repentance, try a few new things, learn a lot.
Oh no, he's Horace.
Not Horace.
It's Horace.
Horace? No, that's not how you say it.
Alright, so bases need to be cleaned up a little because very messy. But it's an interesting choice for the color scheme compared to the white and aqua.
It's very cyberpunky, huh?
I guess with the girl's hair, you know.
This is like a magenta, blue, black, like this very cyberpunky colors in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I guess, but the thing I was looking at was more like the black of the, cloth and such. And I was just thinking, it's a very strong contrast, but I guess that's the whole idea lore-wise of them. But like I look at these and like there's nothing wrong with them. Like it just needs some cleanup with the bases. I like how the bases are looking. Just once those bases are cleaned up, it'll look great.
Yeah, so just get rid of a bit of straggly bits of grass there. And,
Yeah.
just paint it, black rim it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always wonder why they have what is this called? The fleur de lis along the chainsaw sword like that. What does it? Why did they do it like that?
Because you must. Because it's Games Workshop and everything is over the top. Does anybody want to be on
the show?
WAYPN?
Yeah,
No, they want to leave us all alone
by ourselves
because they hate us.
Technically, still not too late to join us. I mean, you can just pop on and talk with your mouth. It'll be fine.
Oh, sweet.
Okay. James Salisbury. I have teased him for a couple of weeks now, and here he is. Batman. No, you gotta do the voice. I need to do the voice.
No, I'm not sick enough to do Batman anymore.
Here's Batman from the Zombicide board game.
Stop.
Still needs more highlight work, and it was not until I took the pictures I saw the blue spot just above the base rim. First two pictures were taken with natural sunlight. We'll be putting more work in before I finish him. Blue spot.
So see this little blue spot here?
Oh, okay.
Like, that's not what people are worried about. So I think when he took this picture, I think we see a lot more of his grey highlights on the muscle here. And, like, this is a testament to, like, taking the right picture. Because I still think this still needs a bit of highlights, right? But I think this is really well done compared to, like, when you look at it over here, and you're just like, okay, so you painted it gloss black and, yeah?
Yeah, there is a movie with Batman using the axe and the weapons weapons, right? I just don't remember
Oh,
which
so this
version of
is
him.
this is a like. Don't bother trying to figure out all of the comic book lore. You'll go insane.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I think it looks good. Um, it's hard to tell with the black because of the overexposure on one side, and then here. But
Mm-hmm.
it does look like the black needs a bit of highlighting all over. I think that the
Yeah,
bat
okay.
symbol has come up well. Um, yeah, that's about all I would say. Just the black needs some highlighting, and so does your steel.
And never flash photography.
Yeah.
Never flash. Because that's unfortunately what's happened here. It
Well,
overexposed the
I
image.
have made that mistake before, so I'm
Yeah.
not gonna judge too much. All right, next up, had Joseph, who has
Joseph.
put a lot of effort into actually answering questions this week.
Yes, he's been doing that
All right,
for a while now.
read, woman, read.
Not much time to paint this week, but Axe Lady and Cloak Lady are ready for the final touches. Hammer Lady needs her glowing metal painting and about 100 teeth on her belt. I've another toothy model to do, so it's time to get them started and all the teeth to do it all together. Lots of teeth.
It's
Go to the dentist.
tooth hurty.
Oh no. Not that joke again.
Yes, yes. But yeah, no, I think they're looking good. The weapons pile seems to have gotten a lot of extra stuff since last we saw it.
I do like it. It's got nice detail, very clean, almost brush strokes level clean, I would say.
No, not quite brushstrokes level clean, but the brown maybe. Yeah, because the brown is quite just even and flat.
Flat brown. And I didn't notice this before, but apparently she's got the stone faces as the tabard.
Yeah,
Cloak.
I think that that's been brought out quite a bit. But like, I think they're all looking good. Like,
I love the middle lady with nice sculpted tummy. Nice paint job there.
Well, I think here's the big thing, right? It is exactly what he says it is. It's a bit of an update. There's not a massive amount that's changed, just a little. But yeah, so
it's definitely more like you just see it come up a little than the last time, which is nice.
Yeah. All
right. Who's this? Andy.
Yes.
Andy.
But he's not from the East. East Andes.
Oh, I see. Okay then.
These are the jokes.
These are the jokes I don't understand. Feel like I keep posting this guy with a lot of changes on him, but I spent the evening dry brushing the fur on the cloak and started to highlight the metal areas. Also put some base coats on the base. Not sure what needs to be done next, but it's starting to come together just slowly.
I think next is probably making these look more like ice. They're like hammer and that sort of thing. And the various like blue elements, like the horns have come up so much more since last we saw them. But also yes, the cloak. The cloak was just basically brown before. But I think everything's come up quite a bit. So for me, I think basically the frost in the hammer there, and maybe giving a bit more richness to the red.
I'm wondering if you should take it a step higher with the skin highlight and go to that almost bright yellow green.
Maybe.
Like how I see some people paint orcs have that push bright because he's looking very emerald green at the moment.
I wouldn't call it emerald.
Emerald green. It looks like this.
It's more like a deep green. But
emerald deep. This is how most dresses look with this.
This is what I deal with every day.
Ugh.
Every day. All right, but yeah, no, I think like there's There's not a lot more that needs to be done. It's just all of those little sort of touches that will bring it all together. You know, it's just like just do a tiny bit on the steel, and you got to do a lot on the ice, and then just a bit on the gold, and just a bit on the red, and just a bit on. You know what I'm saying? Like it's nothing where it's like, oh, this is the thing now, right? I do think the ice is the thing now, but I feel like at the moment it's just fine. You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing where there's a thing and you're like, that definitely needs to be fixed. Do you follow what I'm saying?
I do wonder if he wants to work a bit more on the steel, the hammer, try to give it a different.
But remember, like, that's a view from behind, and like from behind is not as important from in front. All right, shall you read the final?
Justine, quick update. Almost done with the Crux Terminators. Maybe some glazing and a jewel do. Then final highlight. Only meant to do one, but got in a groove, so push through. Hope it looks like stone. Alright.
I think they're looking.
Where's the stone?
I think he's talking about this right here.
Oh, was it meant to be?
It looks more like steel to me, like
yeah,
a very nice true metallic metal.
It does look to be that way.
But like, I look at all of these guys and I'm like, oh. And like, they've come such a long way, because remember when we had the very bad coffee stains?
Yeah,
and you're just like, oh, okay. And then like, come all the way to this. And like, that's one of the things I think it's projects like this that really make it so that people understand just how much work are done to things. Like, you see that little bit extra, that little bit extra, that little bit extra. And you know what? I reckon just like one thing is really good is if you can show like all of that progression over time. That's one of the reasons I think I like the Joar Sutton adventures, because like they're so massive and you just see them slowly come up over time. But that's it for this week. And I just want to say to everyone, before we go off, that's the thing about this place I think is special. When you come in here, right, you don't just see finished projects, right? You see people working on things, and I think you get a feeling for the level of effort that goes into things.
Yeah.
So I want to say thank you so much to everyone for joining us. And is there anything you want to say before we head off, Sonny?
I think that's enough for today.
Or you could have said, keep those brushes wet. Bye-bye.